Alright, what is going on? I was not planning on making a video today, but because of all these crazy news about the tariffs, I decided to get quick on the camera and review these news with you and see how we can make the most out of them, what to do in this situation, how are we going to be affected, and essentially understanding what these tariffs are related to government contracting. A lot is going on. Every single day, every single morning, we're checking the news and new law is coming. One day it's pausing tariffs, one day it's increasing tariffs. But how do these tariffs affect us? We need to know that a lot of the goods we bring, a lot of the stuff we use in government contracting are imports, whether Canada, Mexico, China. We use a lot of their materials. We import them and we use them. So these tariffs definitely going to affect how we do government contracting. Let's get straight to it, actually. This article was published by the National Law Review on April 7th, and it talks about the impact of new tariffs on U.S. government contractors. To first understand the new tariffs on government contracting, the latest tariffs target a range of goods including steel. We bring our steel from Canada, I believe, or Mexico, aluminum from Canada, electronics from China, and other critical components used in government projects. These tariffs, which ostensibly are aimed at protecting domestic industries, that's what they're supposed to be for. They're supposed to protect the U.S. manufacturing and the U.S. market. But that can lead to increased costs for contractors procuring affected materials from foreign suppliers. The key implications for government contracting: number one, increased procurement costs, obviously. Contractors may face rising costs due to tariffs on essential materials. This could impact budgeting for existing contracts and bid calculators for future government projects as well. So if you have a current project going on, that can affect you, but it's also going to affect your future contracts. I'll show at the end of this video a tool on how to find the regulations for every contract really fast and efficiently using AI, so stick around for that. Second, compliance with the federal acquisition regulations, the FAR or the DFAR as well. The government's procurement rules require contractors to comply with domestic sourcing preferences, such as the Buy American Act, the BAA, which you should all be aware of by now, and the Trade Agreement Act, the TA. The new tariffs may alter sourcing strategies to maintain compliance and cost effectiveness. Now, number three, contract price adjustments. Some government contracts contain provisions allowing for price adjustments due to unforeseen cost increases, and this falls under it. If you check this article by the Covington, in one of the sections when I was reading it, they say if FAR 52.229.3 applies, which is a standard clause included in most fixed price contracts, it provides for an equitable adjustment to account for after imposed federal taxes, which federal excise tax or duty on these subjects, and these tariffs fall under federal excise tax or duty. So we do have some protection when it comes to the FAR, as in if this clause applies, which is the FAR 52.229-3, tariffs fall under excise tax or duty. So we can ask for an adjustment of the pricing, and that is what's called unforeseen cost increase as well. Contractors should review their agreements to determine whether they can request modifications to offset tariff-related expenses. Supply chain disruptions. Contractors dependent on international suppliers may experience delays or shortages, which makes total sense. Now you need to find a new supplier. You need to find your aluminum from another place. You can't get the same supplier that you're used to getting daily, for example. Identifying alternative domestic sources and re-evaluating supply chain logistics are crucial to ensuring that project timelines remain on track. If you show up right now and you still provide your job and you complete your job, or you place a bid and you're able to finish that bid without being disrupted by these tariffs, these agencies will take a note of that as you're very reliable. So make sure you're on track of your research. And I'm going to leave also a tip on how to make sure, like one of the tips that I will personally use when it comes to the supply chain disruptions. Number 5, competitiveness in bidding. Companies that rely on tariffed goods may find it harder to remain competitive in the bidding process. Why is that? Developing strategies to mitigate cost impacts, such as leveraging exemptions, negotiating with suppliers, or shifting to domestic alternatives, will be essential. One of the things that I was going to talk about with the supply chain disruptions is that reach out to your main suppliers, whether they're in China, Canada, Mexico, whatever country they are from, and perhaps come to an agreement with them. Ask them to pay for half of the tariffs in accordance that you will still work with them. You still be available for their business. Keep in mind, a lot of American business is gonna pull from these Chinese manufacturers. They're gonna bring it domestically. So if you're sticking with your Chinese supplier, for example, and you can tell them to pay for half of these tariffs, in regards that they will ship out your stuff faster, they will prioritize your order more faster, for example. That way you can still be able to execute your project on time. And I'm gonna talk here about strategies to mitigate tariff risks. So evaluate supply chain alternatives. Exploring domestic suppliers or alternative international sources may help reduce dependency on tariff goods, and that's the most obvious strategy. The second one would be engage in contract review, and this is very important. You are still able to engage with these contract reviews. As I said earlier, the FAR should be protecting you in some way. Assessing contracts for potential relief mechanism, such as price adjustments clauses, can provide financial flexibility. Monitor regulatory changes. Staying informed about trade policies and potential tariff exemptions can aid in proactive planning. So make sure you subscribe to this channel because I will be updating you on this topic every single time there is an update. Lastly, strengthen negotiating strategies. Working closely with the suppliers to share cost burdens, like I mentioned earlier, or secure bulk discounts can help offset increased expenses. In the end, the introduction of the new tariffs presents both challenges and potential opportunities for you as government contractors. There's a big positive side to these tariffs, as in a lot of the work going to be locally. We might even see an increase in the government bids since everything's going to be local now. By staying informed and subscribing to this channel, revising procurement strategies, and leveraging available contractual protections, contractors can navigate these changes effectively. Legal counsel and procurement specialists can provide valuable guidance to ensure compliance and financial stability in this evolving landscape. So reach out to your Apex Accelerator, reach out to your local office, and seek advice if needed. So here's how I will find the regulations and what the FAR says about the contract a lot faster and more efficiently. So let's say you find the contract on SAM-Search. I'm using this tool called SAM-Search, and we found this contract with the Department of Defense. And now we can just simply click on Ask SAM-Search AI, and we can chat with the proposal. We can ask it, what are the FAR or the FAR regulations of this contract, and give me everything FAR in the FAR for this contract. And now it's going to give us what the FAR or the FAR says. And as we see here, the FAR clauses 52.203.19, prohibition on requiring certain internal confidentiality agreements statements. We see 52, 54.204, 52.223.40, providing accelerated payments to small business subcontractors, and contracting for hardware, software, and services provided by. So we're getting all the FAR and FAR regulations in seconds. So I highly recommend you using a smart tool like SAM-Search to find these regulations a lot faster and not miss them before you place a bid and get disqualified because of a compliance issue. I will keep you posted as we go regarding this topic, regarding these tariffs. Please subscribe and try SAM-Search if you want to find contracts a lot faster and even generate proposals with them with the help of AI. If there's anything else, please leave it in the comments. Happy bidding.